You might find this a little interesting. We're going handheld. There's a wrench underneath here, and you see there's a crust on top. See, that wasn't the wrench you were seeing. That was the crust on top of it. And I don't know if it's because of the kind of steel it's made out of, or if the rust is just that thick. But it's pretty amazing the way that thing is crusted over. Now, I'm gonna go put you on the stand and we'll pull this out. Okay, this thing has been soaking in vinegar for I'm not quite sure how long. I'll put it in the comment here in the subtext. And I've just took it out and put a little oil on it. Well, when I first took it out, it would move just a little bit. Right here you could feel this joint moving. And this was rotating with the handle. So the problem was the little connection between the jaw and the handle was still rusted in. But I worked on it, and slowly but surely it came loose. You can see now that it's starting to work. It still has a little ways to go. I'm going to put it back in the vinegar bath after washing it off a little bit, I think, or degreasing it, with the jaw open, and get some of the rust out of there. We'll work it around a few times first. This kind of seeps in over time and works, so I'd say that vinegar actually has its place in the de-rusting world. Now, this is only one data point, and one needs to not get too excited about the first one working. If the third one works, then you're on to something. But look at that, how nice that's going now. Of course, I got a lever on it yet. Let's see how it goes without the lever. Yeah, see, it's pretty hard. And that's with the oil on it. So, like I say, we'll leave it in this position. Yeah, I know I'm screwing up my knurling a little bit here. That could be restored if we need to. But I'm pretty happy. That's almost unexpected. Totally unexpected. I didn't think it would work. Okay, I filled this with fresh water, and I got a nice brush here. Clean this up a bit. And poured it into the slop water. It's pretty clean now compared to what it was. Okay. And now we need vinegar. Hope I'm in frame. This is the first time I've changed the vinegar in the week or so that it's been soaking in there. Incidentally, this is Heinz All Natural Multi-Purpose 6%, which is pretty strong vinegar. So that's what I'm using. I'm sure it's not 6% by the time I'm done with it. Okay, need the wrench. Probably gonna need to do a black oxide coat on this thing, take it apart and do the black oxide on it, because it's going to be ripe for rust otherwise. But let's just get it in the bath now and let it set for a few days and clean up the jaws. I'll move them back and forth maybe once a day. But in a series of days where nothing's been working very well, I'm a tickled pig to have this thing loosen up. Looks to be a pretty decent tap wrench. Yeah. That old tired vinegar in the bottom there, it still stings, so it's got some potency to it. In the last segment, I said I was going to work this back and forth, the mechanism, and I didn't do that. It just sat a couple of days. See if we can turn this by hand now. No, it's jammed pretty tight. But let's look at that wrench. This is some of the crust material. Okay. See a big chunk of goo on there. Okay, obviously I've just finished rinsing this thing off in the 2 dips, but obviously this end is much more rusted and pitted than the other, and not being cast iron, it has made some pretty deep pits. This end isn't too bad, but mostly I'm using this to hold the tube in place so it don't tip over. Now let's see if I can get a little of this goo off of me. The wrench. Here's how the wrench is looking. Where are we? There we are. So we'll take it over to the vise. I'll meet you over there. of this Dollar General lubricating oil. Yeah, at this center range here, it's actually to where it would be usable. And of course, one doesn't use a tap wrench this big on that small of a tap. It would be a bad thing. So it's getting there. Okay, now a little PB blaster. Work that to the bottom. Here we go. We'll just let that not lock the threads. And there's the Allen key here, which probably takes that jaw out. I'm not real anxious to remove either jaw. We'll just let that sit a while, see how it goes. Okay, this is a few hours later, and it's been sitting in here with the penetrating oil on it. And I'm not sure if the penetrating oil is doing anything rust-wise, but maybe just flushing out the residue from the vinegar. But I'm sure it's, if there is rust there, it's going to take care of it. It's knock her loose, or PB blaster, I guess is what it is. And you can see I can turn this with 2 fingers now. So it's good enough to go. So you can even see a sheen of oil on top here where it has flushed through. So I have it upside down in this orientation so that it's easier to see from the camera. But in terms of actually flushing goo out, this is a better walking chew gum. I open the vise instead of turning this thing. Put a little oil in here. Again, this is the PB Blaster. Some on here. Yeah, I don't know how this thing comes apart, this joint right here. I'm wondering if that isn't peened over. And if that's the case, I really don't want to take it apart. Otherwise, I would do that and clean that up as well. But as you can see, this is usable. There's a process for creating black oxide with just household chemicals. It takes about an hour, so it's not real fast, but it works real well, apparently. And we may give that a go on this baby, as well as on the tables I'm building for the eccentric engineering grinder rests, or a sharpening system, I guess is what this thing's called. I'm just building the tables right now. I don't have a milling machine, so the rest of it's kind of hard. Anyway, that's a success. And we'll wrap that up. See you next time. If this vinegar thing works as well as I hope, this is what I want to do. Is the end. That is the backing plate for a chuck, and this is the spindle from my Brown & Sharp number 6 plane screw machine. And maybe, just maybe, we can get the baby to come loose. There's actually one on each end, and I'm guessing the back side has a closure mechanism. And this thing's kind of interesting. It has cone bearings, so the bearings wear, you just tighten them up, and they're all loose. That part's good, and it's been converted to use where are we? There we go, right down there. V-belts, I guess. So we'll just see how it goes.